Githunguri was a unique person. His name was Stanley Munga Githunguri. As you have seen the topic, he is the person who hurt Moi's heart. Moi and Mama Lena differed, separated, because whenever there was a state function, Jomo Kenyatta was old and he could not dance, so he used to allow Mama Ngina to dance with Daniel Arap Moi. And the way they were dancing, it was of the opinion of Mama Lena that the dance was inappropriate according to her Christian values. So she protested openly. Some even say violently. When they separated, there was pressure from Jomo Kenyatta for Moi to marry another woman. Now, Moi was unable to marry a second woman because first, his marriage to Lena was arranged. Two, his Christian belief, he still had that guilty feeling of still being committed to his marriage. So they separated, and when they separated and there was pressure on Moi to marry another woman, he was overheard. Moi and Kenyatta, when they were discussing it, they were overheard by Mama Ngina. Mama Ngina then offered to solve the problem. You see, among the police officers who were in the press escort, that is the presidential escort, there was a lady called Elizabeth Karungari. Yeah, Elizabeth Karungari, who was a sergeant by then. She was attached to the presidential escort, and her duty was just simple. She was the housekeeper of Mama Ngina's bedroom. No other person would enter Mama Ngina's bedroom. So she would do what we nowadays call the maid, or in a polite word, housekeeping. She would come, wipe the place, do everything, and then we used to joke that Mama Ngina would wake up and Elizabeth Karungari would come and spread the bed. So Moi was offered Sergeant Elizabeth Karungari, and as he was courting her, Stanley Munga Githunguri came into the picture. People would accuse me of profiling, but this is a Kikuyu lady who had on one hand to choose to be a wife to a vice president, and on the other side she was to choose to be the wife of a millionaire. Those days we didn't have billionaires, so she chose to be the wife of a millionaire. This thing Moi never forgave Stanley Munga Githunguri. During Kenyatta's time, Stanley Munga Githunguri was suspected of wrongdoing in his position as the executive chairman of National Bank of Kenya. Now, the government had two parastatal banks. It still has two parastatal banks. Actually, recently there was even talks of merging them into one bank. There was the National Bank of Kenya, NBK, and there was Kenya Commercial Bank, KCB. So there's something that he did wrong, and he was taken to court during Jomo Kenyatta's time, and he won the case. So when Kenyatta died, Moi, remembering what Stanley Munga Githunguri had done for him, he instituted a fresh prosecution of Stanley Munga Githunguri. But you know, in criminal procedure code, we have something that, okay, law, they like using a lot of Latin. So they had this, there are these two words in Latin. One is atrophois acquit and atrophois convict. Now when you are charged for the second time with the same offense, it means that you can plead atrophois acquit or atrophois convict by saying that I was convicted of this same mistake and I was convicted. That is atrophois convict. Or if you are acquitted, you say atrophois acquit. So Stanley Munga Githunguri had been charged for the same offense. Siku fulani, saa fulani, nini nini. I'm not trying to say that you repeat the same offense. If it is shoplifting, you shoplift another day. It is just saying that on such and such a day, on Jamhuri Day, the year 2022, you are caught shoplifting. Then after several years again, they charge you on Jamhuri Day 2022. You say that same offense and the same particulars had been charged and I was acquitted or I was convicted. So Stanley Munga Githunguri pleaded atrophois acquit, and the case ended there. So he married her, and she rose up in promotions. When I joined the intelligence, she was the director of administration of the rank of Assistant Commissioner of Police at Nyati House. Nyati House, where today we have Jirongo has constructed some buildings there. There used to be a petrol station. Now this petrol station used to belong to Madam Elizabeth Karungari Munga. And that is the only case I've ever come across where government vehicles used to take fuel from private office, but because it belonged to her. That is that. Now let us go back to how Moi and Mama Lena got together. Mama Lena, her name was Helena. Helen, that is, but Helen in African is Helena, and then they changed the word from Helena to Lena. She was from the family, a prominent family in Eldama Ravine. They got married while Moi was teaching at Tambach, and the pastor or the reverend who joined them was Reverend Barnett. Now if you regularly read the Sunday Nation, you'll find somebody, I think a namesake, who writes about vehicles is called Barnett, a Mzungu. Now the reverend who was the AIM, African Inland Mission, the reverend who presided their marriage was Reverend Barnett. And he was so prominent that the place where he used to stay was renamed Ka Barnett. In Kikalenjin, if you stay somewhere, like me, I'm James, so when they call the names where I stay, they say Ka James. So the town was called Ka Barnett in memory of the Barnett family. It is rumored that Madam Helena, or Lena as she is known, did not want Moi to be a politician. No, she had seen the changes where Moi was a teacher at Dambach and he was now the deputy head of state. She only believed that the close dance was immoral, and maybe she even felt insecure because Kenyatta was old and Mama Ngina and Moi were somehow age mates. After Moi took over as the president, the government constructed by then a modern day house which was officially classified as the Dio's house in Eldama Ravine. And then the Dio used to stay in the same compound, but a smaller house. By smaller I mean the Dio Eldama Ravine used to occupy a house smaller as compared to Dios in other places. So what was being called the Dio's guest house is where the Dio used to stay, but the Dio's main house was occupied by Mama Lena. Mama Lena had a special bedroom where even she herself did not enter there. But for reasons that we will never ever know, unless maybe she shared with somebody, she had said that they can only reconcile with Moi after he leaves politics. Of course, he left politics, but they did not reconcile, and I think that is why their graves are next to each other. Now, that bedroom was supposed to be Moi's when Moi retires from politics, and that is and Eldama Ravine civil servants, especially with the security, were told that there was no way somebody who had a history of taking alcohol would go there. You were to go there, a person who does not take alcohol and a person who keeps secret at Eldama Ravine. It used to be Ikulundogo. With that, we at least know something.